London to the Bankside Gallery, and it's the official launch of the Think Hand campaign. Think Hand campaign. If you don't know what the campaign's about, it is all about trying to raise awareness about the importance of preserving hand and arm, so upper limb function, in people who have MS, because sometimes we take it for granted just how important our arms and hands are, particularly when it comes to being able to stay independent. And currently, walking ability is used as a primary outcome for the effectiveness of drugs. Basically, when they're testing drugs, your walking is used as the primary outcome. And so what the guys down at BART are hoping to do, so led by Klaus and Gavin down at BART, they're hoping to eventually get a trial funded which uses hand function and upper limb function as the primary outcome, which means that people in wheelchairs who have MS would be able to take part in such a clinical trial. So they've got the official launch of the campaign today. It's the culmination of about 10 years of work. Michelle Mitchell from the MS Society is going to be the guest of honour. She's going to be doing a talk, and there'll also be talks from some of the guys down at BART. There's going to be some media down there. A lot of the BART MS team will be down there, as well as people from various charities and also MS patients, all basically trying to highlight the kinds of things that you can do with your hands and why it is so important for keeping people with MS as independent as possible. So we're off to London, we're on the motorway, I'm here, my sister's in the back of the car with me, my mum and dad, dad's driving, my mum's there, she's reading the guest list for tonight, and hopefully it's going to be a really great evening.
In people with multiple sclerosis, and to help us with our Think Hand campaign. And so we've actually printed out, because I don't want to talk about the aims of this particular initiative, but I think the best way to talk about the initiative is to look at people who use their hands as part of their quality of life and for living. And there are 3 examples here, and they are amazing examples, and I know them all personally. I look at Kishon over there, and Kishon, we went through it the day before yesterday, and I've known Kishon since 2001 or 2?
Yes.
2002.
2001, yeah.
And so, 2001. So it's 17 years I've known Kishon for. And if you don't know, he's a really, really accomplished jazz player, and he relies on his hands for his profession, a professional musician. Then there's Andre, and after a few years he decided to retrain himself and went off to art school and became an artist. And Andre, if you go around there you'll see Andre's art, and this is his new profession. And we commissioned that particular picture in the back there, and the purpose of that commission is to show what's really important to people with MS with their hands, and that's a lady putting on her makeup, and it came up in our surveys over and over again. Putting earrings in, with contact lenses, doing eyeliner, putting on makeup is a very important function to maintain in people with MS, to keep their quality of life. And so that's Andre, and if you go around, you can ask Andre about his work. And the other person who's even more inspiring in a way is, where's Romilly? You'll see Romilly here, she's on a high wheelchair. So I've known Romilly since, I think it's 2007 or 8, and I took over her care. And Romilly is an internationally renowned, and if I get this right, I know she's a designer, but she likes to be called the maker of jewellery. And Romilly doesn't have any hand function anymore, but she still makes jewellery, and that's the message. Is even when you lose hand function, there are other things to protect. And so Romilly's got a little exhibition back there, and she's a very well-known jewellery maker, and you can go online and look at all this stuff. So I'd just like to raise my glasses to these 3 amazing people, and just to say, keep doing what you're doing with your hands. Thank you so much. is the Chief Exec, and she's our guest of honour. And she looks after the Multiple Sclerosis Society to say a few words about MS and how important hand function is for people with the disease. Michelle.
Thank you very much. The first thing, I do not feel like I'm the guest of honour. In fact, the opposite. I think all of you are the guests of honour, and we've heard about some of the fantastic achievements that people are making. I'm really privileged and proud to be the Chief Executive of the MS Society, and also to work closely with many people with MS, both out there in the community but also within the research community. And I think through meeting hundreds, if not thousands, of people with MS every day of every week, one of the things that's come through very strongly for me, very clearly for me, is the very different experiences people have, because for everybody MS is different, and that through that experience people have shared with me both their happiness and their hopes, but also the sadness and the real challenges that MS brings, and in between all of those extremes, the daily highs and lows of living with MS. But there's a theme that comes through incredibly strongly, and that theme is the importance of independence, living the very best life possible with as much independence as possible, but also interdependence with people who they love and who love them. So I'm delighted to be here to say a few words about this campaign, because of course it's crucial and part of that objective to live independently and well. The MS Society is, oh gosh, now, can you believe it, nearly 65 years old. We were set up by the wonderful Sir Richard Cave, who had the same ambition that many of us have here today, which is to see a world free from the effects of MS. I mean, that's what binds us all here together this evening. But until we get to that point and get to that day, we want to make sure that not only we have help for people not to face MS alone, we have hope that one day MS will stand for mystery solved, not for multiple sclerosis. And so research, as well as campaigning on welfare, because there's no issue stronger for people out there at the moment. The change in welfare benefits are having a huge impact. We make sure we have a campaigning voice. We help people today, over 18,000 people a year with our helpline. But really what we're here to talk about is our support for research and why we have launched a £100 million campaign for research, why ensuring that not only we build on the progress that's been made in MS research, but we go quicker and faster, especially for people with progressive MS, and why we are part of a number of collaborations, whether that's here in the UK or around the world with the Progressive MS Alliance, and why we are working with Klaus and also Gavin to ensure that this campaign and the importance of arm hand function is recognised by regulators in clinical trials, because it is a symbol and a powerful symbol of what is important to people with MS. So this is a great event in a lovely, lovely location. I think we're surrounded by great people, and I think together what we will do is raise awareness of this issue, continue to campaign for change, to ensure the best research in the world is funded, and we'll do that together. So delighted to support this work and delighted to be part of a community working together to stop MS. So thank you.
So what's emerged over the last probably 3 to 5 years has been this observation that we can almost certainly extend our disease-modifying therapies into people with more advanced MS. So Klaus is going to talk about a particular project we're involved in, and he's going to hopefully talk from the heart.
Yes. Thank you very much, and I'm talking not only from the heart but also a little bit from my crib sheet, because I'm feeling obviously humbled by so many great people around in the audience, but they're all kind of active players in this. So yes, so the second hashtag after Think Hand of this evening is belongs to Chariot MS, and that stands for Gutbin to Halt Deterioration in People with Advanced MS. So what does that mean? It means that we'll undertake for the first time globally speaking, a trial with the firm belief that we can alter the course of MS at a stage where people are currently advised to stop disease-modifying treatment and not to start it. So now, when I say believe, that is obviously not a religious statement, but a commitment to the evidence based on biology and research. And the evidence clearly indicates that we always need to tackle the inflammatory response in the brain that is present and active throughout the course of MS. So times are changing, so I'm pleased to report that all MS centres in the UK that we've contacted have agreed to join Chariot MS and make it happen. So far that's 25 centres between Edinburgh and Plymouth in a nationwide collaboration across all 4 nations of the UK, because we want to be inclusive, not exclusive. So while we're planning to test cladribine and no other drug in people with advanced disease, where we feel that cladribine offers the best deal. It has the potential for high efficacy. You know that from its use in people with early MS. The oral cladribine has just been approved for use in Europe and is already available in England. It is as safe or safer than any of the highly effective drugs currently licensed for MS. It's certainly safer than many of the unlicensed alternatives, including hematopoietic stem cell transplant like HSCT, or drugs like mitoxantrone or cyclophosphamide that some of you may have heard of. Cladribine is extremely well tolerated. I can say that with confidence, as well over 100 people have now been treated at our centre on a compassionate basis. So add to this the thousands who have taken the oral preparation, and we have even more confidence. The effects on cladribine on the cells, we believe, are key for driving the inflammatory component of deterioration are long-lasting. So that means that you need to have only 2 short courses of the treatment in 2 years, and you don't have to remember to take your tablets or your injections, or it won't interfere with other medications either. But there's more to cladribine. It penetrates into the brain, the central nervous system, to tackle inflammation right there where it matters, particularly in people with advanced MS. And it's the only current MS drug that actually does that. So it will be an excellent platform on which to layer nerve protection and repair agents, which the MS community also is currently investigating. We know the evidence indicates that upper limb function can and needs to be protected. We have a medication that is safe, well tolerated, with an excellent rationale, and most importantly, it is actually available right now. However, it needs testing in a properly conducted trial if it is to become a treatment for all, really. So it's not the evidence that holds us up. It's the value that we as a group and we as a society attribute to upper limb function. Whether we feel it's of value to draw or paint, painting or pictures, to play music, to hold a spoon, or to comb our hair. But this is an evening of positive messages, the celebration of people whose MS may force them to use a stick or a wheelchair that hasn't broken their fighting spirit or their creativity. Chariot MS is a celebration of your hope and activities, and we must ensure it succeeds. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Stratified Medicine, Sean and Malcolm, were they? Because they actually arranged this evening. Without them, it wouldn't happen. Thank you very much. And the other thing is, you can see that on that list of the things we're trying to achieve, we've achieved a lot of these already, and we're trying to achieve more. But one of them is to try and get the pharmaceutical companies to do trials in people in wheelchairs. Now, you don't know this, but every trial of a disease-modifying therapy has stopped at what we call a disability score of 6.5 walking sticks. Nobody's ever been brave enough to extend it into wheelchairs. So I've been cajoling and running around the world trying to get pharmaceutical companies to do this. And even when we have, that's the paradigm shift we need. The problem is that trial does not address all the issues. It's for primary progressive MS, and it doesn't address people with secondary progressive MS, which we're trying to do with Chariot MS. And so there is a big unmet need outside of the primary progressive MS community. We need to get behind Chariot MS to address the unmet need. And the biggest unmet need, which I think is going to hit us, and it's really hitting us because Freya, where's Freya? Freya's just told me a story about a patient of ours who had to stop a highly effective therapy because she just got into a wheelchair. And we've seen some catastrophic issues around that, and this is what the NHS is doing now. They are stopping us using therapies in people who go into wheelchairs. And so we get people like Kishan who could still play music if he was in a wheelchair. We get people like Andre who could still paint if he was in a wheelchair. And we get people like Romilly who could still make beautiful jewellery when she's in a wheelchair. Why should we write off people when they hit the wheelchair? And I think that's the message we've got to do. We've got to fight the NHS because the stopping criteria are not evidence-based. Nobody's produced evidence to support these stopping criteria. So that's the real unmet need. And we got an article tonight, I don't know if you've seen it in the Evening Standard, with this exact message. Our team are really trying to challenge these stopping criteria and ask the question, why should we write off hand function in people who could still got good quality of life? So I've said enough. I'd just like to thank everybody, and particularly the team. You know, without Bart's MS and the mouse doctor, where's the mouse doctor, the mouse doctors? And the biomarker group and everybody else, we just wouldn't be here doing Think Hand. So if you can go out and spread the word, we'd like you all to become Think Hand champions and stop thinking legs, start thinking hands, and spread the word, and let's change the paradigm for you with MS. Have a good evening and listen to some wonderful music. Thank you very much.
On our way back home now, you can see, gosh, look at all that, that's beautiful. So on our way back home, out of London, we've spent the evening at Bankside Gallery, the Think Hand event. It was a brilliant event, I'm really sorry, this is a bit bumpy. It was a really good event, and it was a really great way to raise awareness about the importance of hand function and arm function in people who have MS. The whole event there was also a piece in the Evening Standard tonight, which was lovely, and I found that out when I got there. So if you're able to, you might be able to get it online. Have a look, see if you can find that, and you'll be able to read all about the event. So what did you think about the event? Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. It was really interesting, lots of really interesting people there to talk to, and also highlighting the importance of upper limb function and just how valuable that can be for people in their everyday lives, and also for having a purpose. So there was a gentleman there who plays the keyboard who has MS. There was an artist, a painter, and also a lady who makes jewellery. Now, they're all able to continue doing this because of their upper limb function. And it really brought it to life. Rather than just talking about it, we actually got to see the paintings, we got to listen to the music, we got to look at the jewellery. And I think that really brought everything together. It wasn't just an abstract idea. And yeah, no, it was great. There was champagne and canapes and
little ice cream things.
Yeah, which wasn't actually ice cream, which I was really gutted about. I was so disappointed.
I'll put the photo in of the little ice cream thing.
So it was actually compressed watermelon with goat cheese. Yeah,
I was wondering, it looked like a tomato.
Yeah, it wasn't ice cream. I was hugely disappointed. Never mind. But yeah, no, a great event. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to now getting home and taking off my heels.
So am I.
Yes. And having some rest. But no, a really worthwhile event. I'm glad I was able to attend.
Good. So if you go onto social media, which hopefully you'll be watching this on social media, look up the Think Hand
Jazz hands.
Think Hand hashtag. I will be putting it on, it will be on the screen as well. Look up the Think Hand hashtag and you'll be able to see lots of stuff about the event. I will be tweeting stuff as well as obviously putting up this video, and I'll also put up any kinds of articles that have appeared, anything which is being followed up. Again, at the end of the day, one of the things that really we want to see is that people in wheelchairs are able to have a clinical trial done. They're able to participate in a clinical trial for disease modifying therapies, because the primary outcome is being measured by what their hand function is rather than walking function. So that's hand function.
No, I was saying to move.
Oh.
Sorry, go to sleep.
My sister wants to go to sleep. So yeah, the primary outcome is hand function, because currently patients who have MS and who are in a wheelchair aren't able to take part in the clinical trials, and this needs to change. So look up the Think Hand hashtag, and hopefully this is going to be the start of something big. It's going to be the start of a real change in the way that arm and hand function is thought about in patients who have MS.